This is your main event, Mark's podcast, brought to you by Belly Up Unhinged Radio Network Sports. I am your first host, lifelong wrestling fan, former radio guy, and cat dad. I'm Troy, and as always, joining me today is the main event collector and figure hunting warrior. He's the WCW watcher of classic wrestling, and he is the Barry Windham to my Kurt Hennig. He's Greg. What's up, Greg?
Crap is crap.
Well, see, it all fits. You hate rap. You're super white. There you go. Okay, maybe you're not quite as white as Barry Windham.
I'm not super white.
Oh no, that's somebody else we know.
I got some rather tan skin, but on the surface, people do think I'm just white, but there's some Latin in there.
You're an olive-skinned fella.
Yeah. I guess I'll take it.
Yeah, well, that's how.
Not that nasty green olive, right? Because I look like I'm dying.
Good Lord. That's how Jeff Goldblum described himself one time, and that's always stuck with me. But either way, this, ladies and gentlemen, is Uncensored, 1999, that we're covering today. And this is an event that's near and dear to the hearts of Greg and I. I mean, you don't get much more historic than Uncensored in WCW, man. No? Not?
We've now done quite a few of these. We know how this goes, okay? Regular listeners, we know how this goes. Let's be real.
Yeah. If anybody's watched 1995, 1996, yuck.
97 was probably the best one of them all, I might have to say.
I've never seen, this is the only other Uncensored I've seen. I've never seen 97 or 98.
97 was rather good. I don't remember 98 off the top of my head. But yes, I do. Never mind. Yes, I do.
Well, we'll have to
97
stuff those. We'll have to stuff those into the schedule at some point, maybe next year. But we can only stomach one Uncensored per year on this podcast schedule. So this is it. We're going to be covering all the goodness from this one, and there's also a lot of news and notes to cover today.
Did I have a hand in choosing this?
Did you? I don't know. I don't remember.
Because this isn't exactly one of the points you distanced myself from. That's why I asked. So.
Yeah. Well, I don't remember.
we reviewed worse, but yeah.
Well, I know I chose Uncensored, because I like to choose, get one of these in per year because it was WCW's March show, but I just don't
Which was
remember.
The pay-per-view competition for WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah.
Well, when you factor that in.
WrestleMania or Uncensored. You can only budget for one this month. What you gonna choose, brother? Clearly this.
Uncensored, man. It doesn't work for me, brother.
Yeah, right. This, oddly enough, was one of the pay-per-views that did work for his schedule, brother. Can't show up for a Great American Bash, but I can do Uncensored, brother. I don't get that one. You and I have talked about that.
He's a beach guy, and June in SoCal is beach weather. Probably couldn't.
Yeah, well, we'll blame it on that. Good Lord. But we're going to pause real quick to let you know that the Main Event Marks is sponsored by Fanatics. Get all your officially licensed sports gear with Fanatics at fanatics.com. The link is down in the podcast description to click on. And when you go to check out, just let them know that the Main Event Marks and Burns sent you. Also, we're sponsored by Swift Lifestyles. They are clean energy drinks and focus enhancers, great tasting vitamins, and big brain nootropics that are made and shipped from the USA. Go to swiftlifestyles.com and use our special promo code MAINEVENTMARKS. It is all one word for 15% off your order. Make sure to follow us on YouTube. Now you can get the link at linktr.ee/MainEventMarks. And if you follow our YouTube, we are expanding our content. Not only do we have the Main Event Marks podcast where we cover wrestling, but now we are expanding to other sorts of media. We have Marks on Games where we talk about games past, present, and future. Video games from all systems, be it Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo. Some computer games as well. We got Marks on Movies where we're going to cover past, present, and future films, and Marks on Television, where we do the same with TV shows, streaming shows, and whatnot. We talk about past, present, and future there as well with TV. like I said, follow us on YouTube. You click that subscribe button. That would greatly help us out. We're posting new content almost daily, and you can also keep up with our wrestling figure hunts that we do at least once a week, sometimes more. Check us out on youtube.com/C/Main Event Marks podcast. And you can listen on Burns every single Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. And we are played live there on tikilive.com/channel/Burns. Burns is a brand new unhinged sports radio network, and it stands for Belly Up Unhinged Radio Network Sports. We go live every single Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific on tikilive.com/channel/Burns. That is Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific on tikilive.com/channel/BURNS. But now that we've covered all of that, we're going to take our first break of the podcast. When we come back on the other side of this, there's a lot of news and notes to cover, actually, and we'll cover that on the other end of this break. Follow the Main Event Marks at Facebook.com/Main Event Marks Pod, on Twitter at Main Event_Marks, and on Instagram at Main Event_Marks and at Main Event Collector. Get ready to rumble in your new Main Event Marks merchandise. We've got t-shirts, hoodies, masks, hats, stickers, pins, and much more on our Redbubble store. That's maineventmarks.redbubble.com. You can also pick up some awesome clothing items with the latest updated show graphics on our Bonfire store. That's bonfire.com/store/main event marks. Support your favorite retro wrestling podcast and pick up some cool swag on our Bonfire and Redbubble stores. That's maineventmarks.redbubble.com and bonfire.com/store/main event marks.
Hey gang, it's Commissioner Cooper of TSS Fantasy. We are the fantasy show of the people. Expert fantasy advice, free contests, leading expert medical and legal analysis, and most importantly, you. Interact with us on all social media platforms or check us out at tssfantasy.com. You can hear us on Spotify, Apple and Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and many more. Check out the fun today and be a part of the most interactive fantasy show around. TSS Fantasy, the fantasy show of the people.
The Main Event Marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube. Find all of our links on our link tree at linktr.ee/Main Event Marks. And we are back.
Yeah, we're back.
Just to remind everybody, if you're watching us on YouTube, I know we have a few loyal watchers/listeners on our YouTube channel. If you look down below this video and you see that subscribe button is red, that means that you need to subscribe. You haven't subscribed yet. So go ahead and click that and tick the bell to be notified whenever new content is posted, which is almost daily at this point. We're trying to keep up with our YouTube channel. So let's get into
got a new unboxing out there, by the way. Go watch that.
Yeah, Greg has unboxings out there that are pretty cool. We do fig hunts here and there. I got a video on there where I'm showing all my Mattel figures and all that. So check that out. But
I may be doing one of those one day.
Yeah, when the weather warms up a little bit, I'm going to do one for my Jax figures because I got them all out stored right now. And it's, if anybody knows March in Ohio, it's not a fun time. But either way, getting into the news and notes here.
Yeah, hold on before we go.
Uh-huh. Oh, well, roll tide on all that. You know what time it is? It's Miller time.
I have on good authority that beer sucks. I don't know for sure. I don't drink, so I don't know.
I don't like it. I'll say that. But then again, I have a horrible palate when it comes to beers.
I heard you like PBR.
It's okay.
There it is.
Yeah, it's the I don't know. I've been told I like piss beer, so there's that.
Please tell me it's by a Mexican.
I don't know,
because that's exactly what my dad would say to people. I'm not joking.
I don't think so. I talked to a friend of a mutual friend of ours, and he said he also likes piss beer. So I guess we're in the same we're in the same hemisphere that way. The Monday Night Wars may be over. Obviously, both shows are still going on, but the WWF is riding an incredible wave of success while WCW is free-falling in self-destruction. Sunday Night Heat did a record 5.09 rating, followed the next night by Raw doing a monstrous 6.46. Man, that would cause like heart palpitations if they were getting those ratings nowadays. Like, you know that GIF from what was that movie Wanted, where the guy's like sitting there fanning himself and like sweating profusely.
Yeah,
that would be everybody backstage at WWE. They're like, my God, hardly anything gets a 6.46 rating nowadays, unless you're like maybe The Walking Dead.
not even the best sitcoms, I don't think.
Yeah, right. I think, does Walking Dead still pull in those kind of numbers?
Not really, because they debut it through 2 weeks early on AMC Plus. So by the time it airs on TV, everyone's already seen it. So
yeah, it's like way to shoot yourself in the foot with that. Right. Whatever. But at one point, Raw was more than doubling Nitro's ratings during certain segments of the show. Add in all the mainstream publicity, Sable and Playboy, TV Guide doing another 4-part cover series, but only the WWF this time, and other things as well. We're also just weeks away from WrestleMania, which will undoubtedly be the biggest money event in WWF history and the biggest non-boxing event in the history of pay-per-view. The WWF is simply on fire right now. That's true.
I can't believe everyone wanted to see Rock and Austin. I can't believe that. Almost like they had 2 megastars or something on there.
Well, in WCW's defense, they did fire their, fire up their main event with 2 megastars for Uncensored, but it was uncensored.
Only about 10, 12 years late, but yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, well, and also they've had this match. Whereas this is Rock Austin 1 in WCW, this was Hogan Flair 500. So
yeah, well, 1 through 499 don't matter. Okay, 500 is what everyone worries about.
Yeah, right. Well, and this one, I stop me if you heard this one before, Greg, but this one was for Flair's career. Yeah. I know. I had never heard about that either. This was new to me. Yeah, for the record, WrestleMania 15 kind of sucked. There were a few shining lights. It wasn't complete crap top to bottom, but I don't know. It was 15 and 16 were not like bright shining lights in the history of WrestleMania, I'll say.
No, and then 17 comes along and is one of the greatest ever. So,
I know.
There you go. Takes a couple of bad ones to get to the good ones, And then 18 comes around. It's amazing. 19 is probably the best ever, easily. So, yeah.
Yeah, 19's in my top. It's in my fave 5, dog.
19 will always be in my fave 1.
Yeah, I know you like that one. Were you at that one in Seattle?
No.
Oh, okay. Speaking of WrestleMania 19, Kurt Angle will be sent to Memphis to work for Power Pro Wrestling for a bit before they put him on TV.
So by a bit, do they mean 8 months?
Yeah, right. Yeah, when exactly does he debut? Is it at
Survivor Series this year?
Oh, okay.
And then epic match against Meat.
Oh, hell yeah. Apparently they were training buddies, so yeah. But Sean Stasiak went on to be Sean Stasiak, and Kurt Angle is one of the greatest wrestlers to ever lace a pair of boots. There you go.
Yeah, well, done.
Yeah, right. Luna Vachon was fired this week due to several separate incidents. She has had a lot of heat with Sable, Mark Marrow, Jacqueline, and agent Jack Lanza. She also complained about not getting a push because she wasn't as pretty as Sable. She even challenged Mark Marrow to a fight backstage at the St. Valentine's Day Massacre pay-per-view, now in the archives. Basically, she just has been pissing off too many people, and none of the other women were comfortable having her around. She's kind of wild, so they fired her. Funny enough, she was supposedly booked to face Sable at WrestleMania, and was even booked to win the title, but that's obviously off now, and Sable will likely be facing Tori instead. And she did. In one of the most infamously terrible WrestleMania matches of all time.
A couple things. One, infamously terrible, but nowadays the women are having some of the best matches at WrestleMania. And two, right. When she talked about lack of push or whatever, what were they really doing with any woman back then? She acted like the parade was going by of all women. There was nothing going on with any of the women.
Sable was the star, and then everybody else was just
Well, yeah, and to give you an idea, the title's about to go away until Survivor Series 2001. Like, it's like a couple of weeks away. So, what was she looking for?
Yeah, I know. I don't know, man. This is weird. This was, we talked last week about how obsessive, or actually, no, it was a couple of weeks ago, about how obsessive Uncle Dave is about people's looks, especially women. And talking about Tori reminds me of, because she was a big lady wrestler over in Japan for a while and then came over to the U.S. And I guess she had some plastic surgery along the way.
Oh, good Lord.
And Uncle Dave said something about, she used to be a dead ringer for Gina Davis, and now she looked horrible. And I don't know, what the hell did she do to herself and whatever. Like, yeah, because, when I look at that woman, I think, ew. But anyway.
We got a lot more crapping on that E to do, don't worry.
Oh, of course. Speaking of Sable, she's been making the media rounds to promote her Playboy issue. She was on Howard Stern this week and will be filming a role for La Femme Nikita next month. She was also interviewed by the Daily News and had this to say in regards to WWF's product. And I'm just going to preface this by saying I agree with a lot of this. So, yeah. She said, as a responsible parent, I choose not to let my child watch it. Raw, she's talking about. My child is very young. She has a bedtime, and she's in bed when our show comes on. To me, that's being a responsible parent. Ultimately, it's the parent's decision. If you do not wish your child to watch WWF, change the channel. It's not our place to put on a show that's supposedly for your children. It's your place as a parent to monitor what your children watch. If they say, are they saying it's not okay to see the characters we play beat up each other, and it's okay to have your child watch a movie where a famous actor blows away 100 people with an M16? End quote.
Okay.
So I agree with that. It's like, yeah, the show.
I love that the woman who takes her clothes off for money has standards, though. That's great.
Yeah, right.
That's great.
Well, I'll get to that here in a second. But yeah, it's just, she's not wrong. It's like, so what about your non-family friendly product? I don't let my kids watch it because it comes on at 9:00 at night.
What's putting money in your bank account to put food on the table, though? Just curious.
Yeah,
this whole thing is stupid, honestly. Like you all of a sudden you have standards and you take all the money. Get the hell out of here.
Well, it's an adult product. It was, and yeah, kids watch it. But if you don't want your kids watching, that's always been my argument with things. Like when they're like, well, this is inappropriate for children. It's like, okay, does it have warning labels on it? Is it on at certain times where you should be able to monitor what the hell your kids are doing? Don't effing let them watch it. Like, nobody's holding a gun to their head. Like, your kid has to watch Raw, damn it.
Yeah, let little Timmy watch whatever he wants.
It's like if a kid wants to watch it, and you feel the kid's responsible enough to watch it, that's your freaking call, man. Like, I don't know. Like, I always hate when they blame the WWF. Like, oh, it's your fault that the kids are effed up. Like, okay. It's like, video games cause kids to kill each other, Greg. We've been told that.
Well, when I was a kid and I played Mortal Kombat, I always went to school and tried to rip my friend's head out of his shoulders with the spine hanging down like Sub-Zero. So, yeah, that happens.
Right. But either way, when asked if she felt that her character is degrading to women, Sable responded, quote, I feel I'm being a strong stand-up woman. If people don't have to like what I do or agree with what I do because they don't have to live my life. I would much rather my daughter, when she grow up, do what she wants to do because she wants to do it, not because of what someone else thinks, end quote. When asked about turning heel recently, but still not getting booed, Sable pointed to her chest and said, why would they boo this? Point taken, I guess. This whole thing is just like,
I'm just like kind of
so
speechless. Weird. I'm like, everything in there was hypocritical.
Yeah. My thing about it is like, so you're sending the woman who's literally advertising, hey, come look at me in this nudie mag. Is she's the one out there talking about, like, look, parents, you need to monitor what your kids are looking at. Either way. Here's a good one, man. This one took me back. Public Enemy has a good bit of heat in the WWF already,
Lord.
with most people feeling like they don't belong and are out of their league. You take that back.
No way.
they had a match against the Acolytes on Sunday Night Heat. Sure, we'll call it a match. Where both of the guys were stiffing the hell out of them. It was reportedly meant to send a message to Public Enemy and was approved by the office. I think to this day, Pritchard won't admit, like he won't say whether or not they approved it. I think he's, yeah, like, well, you know, we did something about it. Like, what? Gave him a bonus?
What?
Yeah.
Pat on the back and a 6-pack of beer.
Everybody did say, to their credit, they took their ass beaten, came back, shook everybody's hand, was like super like chill about it. So then again, what the hell were they going to do after they just got the crap beat out of them by the Acolytes? Like, clearly they weren't going to stand up for themselves. But either way, heading down south now to WCW. Well, that has multiple meanings, by the way. For the last several weeks, Eric Bischoff has been apparently on vacation in France. Uncle Dave Meltzer notes that he perhaps should have been in Rome playing the fiddle.
Oh, good God.
That bit of a low blow, but kind of funny. That left Kevin Nash and Hulk Hogan in charge of Nitro this week. Uncle Dave said it was possibly the worst TV show put on by a major promotion in history. Nash and Hogan used the show.
I use that so much.
Yeah, I know. And the thing is, you and I have pointed out, we don't go back and watch everything leading up to the pay-per-views, so I cannot confirm nor deny. But either way, Nash and Hogan used the show as a way to get themselves over and went to absurd lengths to basically bury everybody else in the company. When asked about it, Bischoff has basically said that he's given full control to Nash and giving him the chance to sink or swim on his own. Most people feel that Bischoff... You don't say. Most people feel that Bischoff has pretty much given up and mentally checked out of the company. He may be looking for a way to get off the Titanic before it sinks. All that is true. He was mentally checked out. He confirmed it on his podcast and said he really didn't give a crap at this point. Wasn't he about to be sent home?
I think he already was.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember. I know.
I don't remember. I thought he was.
Yeah,
I don't remember the timeline of that.
I know Vinny Ruru there doesn't show up until October of this year, so still a ways to go. As if this week's week's episode of Nitro wasn't bad enough, they also failed to sell out the show in a 12,000-seat arena. It's been a long time since Nitro failed to sell out an arena that size. A few days later, a Thunder taping only drew 4,000 fans to a 15,000-seat arena, which was disastrous. You don't say.
Yeah, they've got a really good grasp of the obvious here.
Right. 4,000 seats in a 15,000-seat arena. Like, my God in heaven.
That sounds fake.
Yeah, you talk about it. I'm going to use the old Jim Cornette line. Looks like a piss hole in a snowbank. But during Thunder, they aired 2 promo videos hyping next week's Nitro. Both clips featured Sean Waltman, who's been gone from WCW for over a year and is, of course, currently in the WWF.
A moment for that, please.
Right. Also on
you don't
Thunder,
have interns who go through the footage and stuff? Like,
yeah, nobody, like, you had to, like, approve this thing before it went on air. Nobody was like, hey, that guy isn't here anymore, hasn't been here for a year. Like, if it was a week or a month, whatever. But
I know this from watching, like, Conan O'Brien and stuff. He always makes jokes about it when they show stock footage. And he goes, oh, some poor intern had to go dig that up. And I'm just thinking, is that how it is for, like, this? Like, some intern has to look at it and then they miss it? Or what? What happened?
Well, I realized that, this is WWE in 2022 as opposed to WCW in 1999. But you ever notice now, like, somebody's fired, they're, like, literally cropped out of footage the next week.
Pretty much. They've been a little looser on that lately, though.
Yeah.
Like, they've name-dropped Daniel Bryan and Moxley, by name, Mox, on TV. So,
wow.
They're kind of loosening up on that.
I can't remember what it was. Oh, they cropped John Morrison out of some stuff with The Miz, I saw, when it was, like, some promo.
This was disastrous run by him anyway, so I'm fine with that.
Yeah, right. I was like, wow, did he piss somebody off on the way out or what? Yeah, I don't know.
I forgot that he can wrestle but can't speak a lick. I completely forgot about that.
Morrison?
Yes.
Yeah. I forgot he did piss people off on the way out. That's right. Remember him and Taya Valkyrie were talking crap on Twitter after they got fired? Mostly Taya, but yeah, I forgot about that one. So that would explain. Yeah, that would explain him getting cropped out of footage, I guess. Yeah. So either way, this one, there's no excuse. This was in-house stuff. You didn't have to send this out in advance. Like, Bischoff always used the excuse for the posters being out of date. It's like, well, we had to send that out like, 6 to 8 months in advance to, get it cleared and whatever. This one's in-house on your own show. That doesn't count.
Well, at the end of the day, it's just free publicity for WWE, isn't it?
Yeah, right. It's
Look,
like, hey,
show
where's that guy
alive.
now? Right. Also on Thunder, the crowd was chanting steroids at Scott Steiner. At one point, he legit lost his cool and ran into the crowd after a fan. They had to edit that out before the broadcast.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a couple of crazy ass moments with Steiner in this era.
Yeah. I remember
the infamous, anyone who doesn't know about it, go look it up. The infamous, just put Scott Steiner, Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's running down Ric Flair on Nitro and saying everyone's watching Raw to see Stone Cold Steve Austin, your old ass. And
is that the one where he was talking about your big ass nose and your teeth that can cut keys and whatever? Like,
I think so.
Hot damn. I remember that one. He went into business for himself. They said Flair was fuming backstage. I mean, seriously though, Flair had political pull, I'm sure, but like physically, it's not like he was going to attack Scott Steiner.
Oh man, that roid rage will kill you.
Yeah, right. Well, plus,
allegedly. I don't know, man. He said he didn't do it, but
well, plus apparently him and Rick were legit like great amateur wrestlers. I'm sure Rick could handle himself.
At Michigan University, home of the Wolverines. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Screw blue. That's all I got to say. But in a magazine interview with Goldberg, he was asked his thoughts on the WWF. He said that it was shock TV and said that he would retire from wrestling tomorrow rather than ever go to work there. Flash forward 4 years. Yeah.
4 years. This is 99. Flash forward 23 years.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, Jim Cornette talked about that. He was like, if you told me back in like 1998, this guy's going to be still headlining WWF pay-per-views, 20 some years from now, I would have laughed in your face and called the loony bin on you.
Physically, he still looks better than half the damn roster.
Dude, you know that, what's that new commercial he's in? Can't remember the
I think it's a truck commercial.
Yeah. Like he walks onto the scene, like out of like a silhouette, whatever. And my wife doesn't know who the hell he is. And she's just like, he's huge. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, believe it or not, he used to be bigger. Remember that he didn't have a neck? He was just like a giant muscle from his head to his shoulders.
Yeah, like Otis.
Yeah, right. But without the Bobby Hill look to him. I don't know, Dad. No, I got it. Dude, he should do that. Be like, I don't know, Chad.
Holy crap.
That would be great. I would lose it. And now instead of the World's Strongest Slam that movie does, he just needs to call it the That's My Purse. All right, anyway. Here's a nice crossover, and we'll talk about this guy later, actually, in another story, but WCW offered Mark Coleman $50,000 to come in and work a match against Goldberg and put him over. Remember Mark Coleman?
I do.
Is he?
He would go back to UFC a little while after this and try to reinvigorate his career. It's crazy.
Is he a Hall of Famer?
He is, yeah.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought.
I think he was a legit wrestling champion in NCAA.
Oh, cool.
If I remember correctly.
Well, I guess Coleman's people advised him against doing this. Then Kevin Nash also shot down the idea, saying, what if Vince McMahon offered Coleman $100,000 to double-cross WCW and shoot on Goldberg live on pay-per-view and embarrass him for the company?
What if?
Yeah. Because that's super realistic, right?
I could have just had Tank Abbott out there with them. That was a hell of a fight.
Oh, my God.
I don't know if they ever fought for life either.
By the way, on the face of that, because this is obviously Uncle Dave's ramblings, on the face, that's such a stupid statement. Like, Kevin Nash could not be that dumb to say that. I don't believe he is. Because Mark Coleman would have had to, sign a contract and all that. So, that would have been a huge legal thing if.
Are you saying that Uncle Dave made this up?
Oh no! Hashtag plans changed. Reality got in the way.
Wow. That's a new one.
Right. Well, we haven't done this in a while, so this week in ECW, if I may have another volley.
If I may have another vomit bucket.
What the hell? ECW paychecks are finally starting to clear now as they got a big influx of cash. I don't know where the big influx of cash came from. It doesn't clarify.
There's so many jokes I can make. Well, I'm going to leave them.
So morale is better, but no one is betting on the future. Even Tommy Dreamer, thought to be the most loyal guy in the company, went on a radio show this week saying that he only has a handshake agreement with Paul Heyman, not a contract. He said that if a serious offer came along,
man, I can't believe he didn't get away, because that's someone everyone wants to sign.
Wow. But he said that if a serious offer came along from either WWF or WCW, he would take it. Look, I know
Dreamer, he was a diehard there, never want to leave, so I don't believe that.
Yeah, well, if Uncle Dave was just writing that, whatever, but maybe it was in a moment of anger that he said that on radio. But yeah, I mean, he literally turned the lights out on the place. And and here's my point. I know you joked about it. It's like, well, everybody was chomping at the bit to sign him. It's like, yeah, I get it. But at the same time, you mean to tell me that the Sandman and Vic Grimes got signed to the two big companies, but Tommy Dreamer didn't?
Tommy effing Dreamer.
Mikey effing Whipwreck is on this show right here, but Tommy Dreamer didn't get an offer. So I don't believe that he didn't have an offer. I just believe that he was loyal. So
I don't believe anybody had anything to do with him. Like,
yeah,
what the hell would he do in this era?
I mean,
was even a thing yet? I mean, it was a title, but like it wasn't like hot yet.
Yeah, but it's like, to my point, Vic Grimes, they saw something, oh, we can do something with him. And hardcore hack / Sandman, like, but not Dreamer. All right, whatever.
Right.
ECW also lost their TV deals in several major cities due to financial issues. I'm going to let that hang.
This is 99, so they don't have TNN yet, right?
No. Is that what? I don't know when the first show is on TNN.
Let's say September.
Maybe you can look that up on Facebook.
I want to say September 99. I'll look it up. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. But Boston, Chicago, Atlanta, Buffalo, and Pittsburgh TV deals were all lost. They're working on getting Boston back. They voluntarily gave up the Chicago TV deal because they were paying $3,000 per week for TV there. However, they've never actually run a show there, so they decided that it wasn't worth the cost. The same goes for Atlanta, although they're looking for a new TV deal there. Pittsburgh dropped them due to bounce checks. No.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So, go back real quick. ECW debuted on TNN in August 99. Ended or / canceled in October 2000.
So a little over a year. Yeah. They're still like what, 6 months away? Yeah, 6 months away or 5 months away from getting that deal.
What is this, in March? Yeah. 5 months. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little less than 5 months to get the deal. 5 months when it airs. Yeah.
Right. Well, ECW TV this week kept taking pathetic shots at WCW. Once might have been okay, but it went on and on throughout the whole show and came off as whiny and desperate. They talked about
WCW. Man, I'm glad those days are over.
Wow. They talked about WCW ripping off ECW's gimmick with the Uncensored pay-per-view. They talked about the three-way match between Raven, Hardcore Hack, and Bam Bam Bigelow, saying that they're using ECW wrestlers for an ECW-style match. Okay, I know Bam Bam was in ECW, but I never think of him as an ECW guy.
Nobody does.
Yeah. Just like Terry Funk, he was in ECW for a while. Nobody will ever think of him as an ECW guy.
Same with Raven. I mean, I knew him as Johnny Paul. That's what he is to me, WWE guy.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to pretend you didn't say that. But they also They also
I had to get that one in. Sorry.
They also knocked the Hogan Flair barbed wire cage match, saying that the match will suck because both guys are 50-year-old millionaires who won't take risks. Besides, the barbed wire is fake, and in ECW they use real barbed wire.
A little hard to argue with some of that.
Well, then they showed the famous Terry Funk Sabu barbed wire match, not bothering to mention that Funk is older than both Flair and Hogan, and they just spent the whole show knocking WCW. Ah, man. So, I mean, yeah, you can say what you want about AEW taking shots, and they do, but at least they didn't dedicate an entire episode of Dynamite to talking about, well, WWE sucks, and they rip off our ideas and take our wrestlers.
Yes, but if nobody sees your ideas, do they really happen?
Right. That's the old, if a tree falls in a forest and nobody's around, does it make a sound kind of thing?
Right.
If your show is on at 2 a.m. on a Saturday, on a local access station.
Yeah, I was going to say buried away on like channel 780 or whatever.
Right. You got to get the bunny ears just right on top of the TV to tune it in. Oh, God. Yeah.
Bunny ears, and you got to put some tinfoil on the ends of it. Get that extra zing to it.
And it's stuff like that why I believe Eric Bischoff when he says he never watched that show. Like, how could he?
Well, there's no computer back then. How are you going to watch it? Or not, no, like, I should say streaming or anything like that. So, how are you going to watch it?
Yeah, I know. Like, it's ridiculous. And here's the last thing that's ECW related I have. Tammy Sitch and Chris Candido still aren't being used by ECW. They have told Heyman that they are in counseling and doing an outpatient drug rehab program. Tammy's mother also went to court this week and got the restraining order against her daughter extended. Tammy was arrested a few weeks before this for violating it.
Dude, as
we speak.
As the time of recording, a couple days ago, she got arrested again.
Yep. 11 counts, wasn't it? I believe.
Thinking they were all drunk or alcohol related and alcohol/car related, I believe.
Yeah, it was like driving. I think it was stuff like driving with a suspended license, driving while intoxicated, just a bunch of stuff. But my gosh, last time she got arrested, it was for being intoxicated with a weapon. And it's just like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. Like, we all have fun with the is Teddy Hart in jail thing, but it's like, man, where's the Tammy one?
I actually think I called for that like a couple weeks back on one of the podcasts we did.
Yep. Yeah, you did. You're ahead of the curve, man. Going a little international here because I don't want to spend too much time on it. It's sad. It's pathetic at this point.
More sad than what we just talked about?
No, I mean that what we just talked about is sad.
Oh,
pathetic.
I think you were bringing up something new. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, this is sad, but it doesn't involve death in the story or anything like that. It's just sad. The guy had to retire early, but the career of Lizmark, not Lizmark Jr., that some of you know from WCW, but the senior Lizmark, one of Mexican wrestling's all-time legends, may have come to a sudden end due to a heart problem. He'd been dealing with chest pains recently and finally checked himself into a hospital, only to find out the bad news. Doctors then told him that he absolutely could never wrestle again because he would be risking his life.
It's horrible.
Yeah. He didn't pass away until 2015, but he was only 65. So that sucks. That means here, if he was 65 in 2015, then he was only in his 40s here when he had to retire.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, freaking sucks. And
we just talked about there were 50-year-olds still going.
Yeah, right. Isn't Lizmark Jr. in WCW at this point? Pretty sure.
I mean, I know he was in WCW, but at this point, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, he okay. Yeah, I forgot because there was I don't have the story in here, but Uncle Dave was talking about how at the pay-per-view they talked about how Chris Jericho's never been in a dog collar match before, and he's like, he was literally just in a dog collar match like the week before this against Lizmark Jr. to prepare for this match. So what are they talking about? And he's like, I don't know, maybe it was a hallucination. How dare you call the great Tony Schiavone a liar? As one career ends, though, man, another one begins. Legendary retired sumo wrestler Aki Bono has been denying rumors that he plans to get into the pro wrestling business now that his sumo career is over. About that.
Well, we're still 6 years away from him being at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what was first, if this was first or his New Japan run was first. I know in one company, I don't think it was New Japan, but one Japanese company, the gimmick was he was the Great Akibono or something like that, and he was supposed to be Great Muta's son.
Was this in Pride?
No, this was like an actual wrestling promotion. But it was weird. He like hatched through an egg. He was Great Muta's son. It was really effing like fever dreamy. I'm not making any of this up, by the way.
I have no
wish
doubt.
I was. Vader became the first wrestler in history to win both the New Japan IWGP title and All Japan Triple Crown title. This after defeating Akira Tao to win the title recently vacated by Toshiaki Kawada after an injury. Uncle Dave said this puts Vader up there alongside Lou Thez as one of the only wrestlers to hold more versions of Major League Championships than any other wrestler ever. At one point in 1990, Vader was the CWA, UWA, and IWGP champion all at the same time. That probably makes him the only wrestler to ever hold 3 major world titles on 3 different continents at one time. That'd be Europe, North America, and Asia. I know. Vader was a big deal, man. It's only in the WWF was he not that big of a deal. I mean, he was treated like a main eventer there for a little while, and in their defense, he was older and broken down by that point, so he didn't have that much more in the tank.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. Staying in Japan, there's a quiet power struggle taking place between All Japan Pro Wrestling, between Mitsuharu Misawa and Motoko Baba, who is the widowed wife of Giant Baba. Apparently, Motoko Baba wants to oversee everything Misawa does, while he wants to be left alone to run the company as he sees fit. He also wants to modernize things a bit. Giant Baba wasn't exactly the most in-touch guy when it came to the modern-day wrestling business. This behind-the-scenes power struggle goes on for the next year or so. Eventually, Misawa leaves and takes almost the entire AJPW roster and office staff with him to form Pro Wrestling Noah. Then, they damn near put All Japan out of business overnight. Which would explain why they're just now coming out of obscurity. Relative obscurity. And the sad thing is, with Pro Wrestling Noah, is they were running hot in Japan for the longest time, and then Misawa died. And that kind of took a huge crap on the whole thing. And again, they're just now coming back out of obscurity after that. So
was that the Dark Side of the Ring episode?
No, that was what the hell was that? The one that Onita owned. Can't think of it. The deathmatch place. No, Pro Wrestling Noah was they were pure wrestling. That's actually where Kenta got his start in Japan. Or excuse me, you get it. You got to say it like they spell it. Kenta.
Oh yeah, and Walter or Gunther.
Yeah, that one I never understood. I'm like, I know they do that in Japan. I'm like, why did he do that? He's from he got his wrestling start in Germany. As far as I know, he never wrestled in Japan. Well, he's Austrian, but he wrestled in Germany. God, Greg.
I'm buying that.
Remember WXW? That's didn't a mutual friend of ours refer to that as WWE's German little B word?
I think so. Yep.
Okay, last couple stories I have are wrestling / MMA related. Nobuhiko Takada is still not giving up the dream of being a real MMA fighter and will face UFC fighter Mark Coleman at the next Pride show. I told you his name would pop up later. This ends up being one of the most notoriously fixed fights in MMA history, with Coleman clearly taking a dive for Takada.
No, he says he didn't.
Really?
He claims he didn't. I don't believe it, but...
Yeah, well, they put fixed in parentheses, or quotation marks, whatever, so it's like, I don't know. Pride was, I think that's why Pride went down, because they had problems with the Yakuza, and they were fixing fights and crap, so... I don't know. There's a guy on my Facebook that says, if there's big money involved, it's worked. And it's like, oh, for God's sake.
How do you know what big money is?
Yeah, right. Let's stay with MMA here. Last story. At the latest UFC pay-per-view, Tito Ortiz got into a confrontation with Ken Shamrock, who was cage side for the fight. After Ortiz...
this.
Yeah. There's going to be some salty, offensive language here, so bear with me, everybody. I'll bleep it out. But after Ortiz won his fight against Ken Shamrock's protege, Guy Mezger, is that how you pronounce it?
Mm-hmm.
He flipped off the Lion's Den corner before pulling out a T-shirt that said, "Gay Metzger is my bitch." Super.
I remember watching.
Get it? Because Guy is like one letter away from gay. And, we talked about that's offensive, right? Because, he called him gay. God, this is 1999, everybody. Just remember that. Upon seeing the shirt, Shamrock jumped up and climbed the cage. He started yelling at Ortiz, saying that if he put that shirt on, he would rip his head off. This before chastising him for poor sportsmanship. Due to the UFC being afraid of any negative publicity these days, the camera pulled away from most of it. However, Ortiz had to be pulled away, and Ken Shamrock nearly climbed into the cage and had to be restrained. For what it's worth, Shamrock has talked about wanting to fight again, but of course, he's still under WWF contract. He's had discussions with Vince McMahon about allowing him to fight perhaps sometime this year, but there's no word on if it led anywhere.
It did.
It didn't.
Tito creamed him when they fought.
Next 3 times, right?
Yep. One of my favorite visuals from that whole thing is Big John McCarthy picking up Tito and just turning him around and carrying him away. Oh, man.
Yeah, about the only dude in that cage who could have done that. That's freaking nuts, though. Like, why was he taunting Ken Shamrock anyway when he's not even fighting anymore?
I think Ken Shamrock had a lot to say about him and talk crap about him as a champion, said he wasn't a good champion, all that good stuff.
Well, Tito always was a showman. I'll give him that.
He's the first guy that brought wrestling theatrics into MMA, really.
Yeah, I remember him with his pyro-filled entrances and stuff like that. That was pretty cool. The coolest thing about Tito Ortiz, though, is he's in Medea Boo.
The hell's that?
You know the Medea movies, the Tyler Perry Medea movies?
Okay, yeah. I didn't know he was in any of those.
Yeah, he's in the Halloween-themed one.
Well, however you got to get paid, right?
Yeah, right. Everybody makes fun of them, and it's like, sure, they suck, but you know what? I guess they're super cheap to make, and he always turns a profit on them. So why would you not keep cranking that crap out?
It's kind of like an Adam Sandler movie, dude.
Yeah, it's like, look, it sucks, all right? Like, it undoubtedly sucks, but it makes money. But anyway, that does it for the news and notes. You ready to get into Uncensored?
I thought this was the show.
Yeah, this is all right. Good night, everybody. So long, folks. But now we're going to take our next break. When we come back, we're going to get into the pay-per-view at hand. Follow the Main Event Marks at Facebook.com/Main Event Marks Pod, on Twitter at Main Event _Marks, and on Instagram at Main Event _Marks and at Main Event Collector.
This message is brought to you by Belly Up Sports. No, just kidding. This is not an NWO promo. This is just me, Kyle Sullivan, aka Shaggy Von Doom, the host of Here in Puckburg on the Belly Up Sports Podcast Network. I have a hockey podcast where we talk about hockey fandom and the love of the game and where that leads you in this game we call life. Why am I on Main Event Marks telling you about this? Well, what if I told you I had one half of the world's greatest tag team, otherwise known as the Main Event Marks, the one and only Greg, Superfly Greg. He was on, and he was talking about his love of the game. So you might want to come over and check that episode out. And if you like what you hear, you can check out the rest of our incredible episodes with our incredible hockey community, from PHF athletes, ESPN personalities, fathers of NHL players, and a whole lot more. Come by, follow the show, give a like, give a subscribe, and it'd be great to have you here in Puckburg. But enough about me. Let's get back to what you're really here for, the Main Event Marks, because they are the cream of the crop. Oh, yeah.
The Main Event Marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube. Find all of our links on our link tree at linktr.ee/Main Event Marks. And we are back.
And we're back.
It's WCW Uncensored, 1999. The date, March 14th, 1999. The tagline, no rules, no mercy, no way out. Wasn't the other company running a show the month before this? Something about no way out?
No.
Anyway, never mind. Anyway, that's
Actually, no, they wouldn't. It would have happened in 2000, wouldn't it?
No Way Out of Texas was in 98. 99, I don't know.
99 was St. Valentine's Day Massacre, so.
That's right. Okay, so yeah. Either way, the attendance was 15,930.
For this, that's impressive.
Yeah, I'm surprised they actually got that many people in here. It took place at Freedom Hall in Louisville, Kentucky. I wonder if Cornette was in the audience for this one. The pay-per-view buy rate was 0.77, which amounted to 325,000 buys. Did you order this one?
I watched it.
Ye old scrambler box at the neighbor's house?
Not mine, but yeah.
Right. I like how you always have to preface that. You're like, look, I did watch it on the scrambler. I didn't own the scrambler. But
I did not.
I did it. Right. But we start the show off with a pretty cool opening video, in my opinion. I dug it. It was almost like the precursor. Like if you watch that in the old Elimination Chamber video of them building the chamber with Eric Bischoff's voice, whatever. That's what it reminded me of. Mean Gene Okerlund lets us know that all the matches tonight are unsanctioned by World Championship Wrestling.
So I'm like, why are we keeping track of this then?
I know. I'm like, why are titles on the line? That was my question. Like, multiple titles are up for grabs on the show. But I have to add that I think it was a cool touch. It was a little thing, but I think it was a cool touch to take the ring mats away outside the ring. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. It's stupid and dangerous.
Cowboy Bill Watts style, right?
You're right, yeah. Look, real men don't need ring mats, all right? But,
yeah, man, they crack their heads and die. That's fine.
Right. To pull your little panties up and get out there and wrestle. Anyway.
I'm going to leave that alone.
First match is Billy Kidman defending the WCW Cruiserweight title against the debuting Mikey Whipwreck. This went about 15 minutes. Mikey is making his debut, and he doesn't get any theme music for some reason. Either that or they cut it out of the Peacock thing. It sounded like he was coming out the side.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
No, usually they just have something over.
Yeah. I don't know. But these guys tried really hard, and it wasn't bad, but I just didn't care at all. Kidman wins with a shooting star press. Why the hell did this have 15 minutes? Uncle Dave gave
It's a cruiserweight opening, dude. That's why.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. Uncle Dave gave this, brace yourself, 3.5 stars. I gave it 2. What say you?
Gave it 2. It wasn't bad.
No, it didn't suck. I just like...
It just felt like something that should have been Nitro.
Yeah, the crowd wasn't really into it. I mean, they were at times, but I feel like most of them were wondering who the hell is this guy facing Billy Kidman.
In Kentucky, yes. I don't think he said he was big in Kentucky. I could be wrong. I don't know.
No, I don't think they were.
This is New York, Boston, Philly, or something like that. Yeah, they probably hold it with crazy for him.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It was weird. It was funny. Bobby Heenan kept calling him, like, Whip Neck and crap like that. He kept messing up his name on purpose, and it was pissing off Mike Tenay.
But he's literally on his way out again.
Who?
Whip Neck.
Oh, wow. But up next, we get a promo for Stevie, effing Ray, and Vincent arguing over who runs the NWO Black and White. So these two...
The B team.
So these two are who's running the NWO Black and White?
Well, it was just between them, Horace, and Brian Adams.
Oh, good Lord. Well, they say that they're going to face off.
That is called a who's who. I don't get what you don't get.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about 4 amazing wrestlers here.
Shut up. God. Did you say that with a straight face?
I really did. I'm proud of myself. All until you said shut up, yeah.
They say that they're going to face off in a Harlem street fight and then get into a fairly racially charged argument over who's more street and about beating each other from one project to the next.
Yeah, wow. That's just some serious overtones in this one.
Yeah, things that wouldn't fly in 2022, part 1. But up next, we
We're going to argue over which one is more black, bro. Wait, he ain't even there. Never mind.
You're gonna argue over who's more black, and you're gonna use like stereotypical black stuff, bro. It's not even gonna be like normal stuff. It's gonna be like super stereotypical and offensive.
And then, bro, the payoff, you're gonna be super racist to each other. It's gonna draw money, bro.
No, I'm more ghetto than you. No, I'm more ghetto than you. Good Lord. But this one is Vincent versus Stevie Ray in a Harlem Street fight. It went 6.5 minutes.
Can we just mention, by the way, how we used the exact same theme? So the music, the end of the song played for like 10 minutes straight.
Yeah, I know. Yep, they both come out to the black and white theme. Well, Horace ends up running down and sliding a slapjack into the ring between the two men. On the way back, he tells the camera, I don't care who knocks who out. I'm the leader. God. Vincent grabs the slapjack. Stevie kicks him, hits the move, the slapjack, and wins. Uncle Dave gave it a dud. I got a 1.5. What say you?
I gave it 1 whole star.
Yeah,
I'll admit that I'm watching this, though. I just kept laughing. I'm like, oh my God, Vincent's in a pay-per-view match.
So is Stevie effing Ray. Like, just these two. And he's not he's not teaming with Booker T either. He's just on his own.
Yep, he's like the Matt Hardy, man. He's famous for tagging in Booker.
Good Lord.
Am I wrong?
Oh, well, hey, the guy that Matt's famous for tagging in flat out said he's coming to AEW. You heard that, right?
Oh, have fun.
Yeah, it's like, yay. Look, I love Jeff Hardy. You and I are
I'm a mega fan of his, but
yeah, it's like, who cares at this point? Matt hasn't done anything ever since that football field effery. I can't remember the stadium stampede. Ever since
when he almost dies.
Oh no, that was the Sammy Guevara match. This was the.
Wasn't that that arena though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the same arena. Yeah. Okay, well maybe since the match where he almost died. Ever since then, it's just like, who cares? Matt hasn't done anything.
Yeah, I mean,
major.
He sold off his empire to Andrade, so.
Yeah, it's just like blah. And then what? Jeff is going to come in and almost die. Maybe he's going to one up Matt and put himself in the hospital. I don't know. I could not care less. And like I said, I love Jeff. It's just like, meh. Like, hey, they're getting the old band back together. Sting's hanging out there. Jeff Hardy's about to pop up. All we need is Jeff Jarrett, and have a good old TNA time.
It's kind of funny what headlines the event we're talking about, and people give crap for Goldberg still being there. I'm like, whether you want to realize or not, everybody in history has done this with old guys. So
yep.
I think it should be a wash argument. Everyone shut the hell up about it because everybody does it. PCO is like 80 years old, still doing stuff. So I'm like,
Lord.
I think it should be a wash, and we don't talk about it.
Still taking suicide dives through the ropes. Well, and my thing is, like, even if I don't like it, which I mean, yeah, I like Goldberg. I'm a fan of his. Whatever. I honestly don't care about him anymore, or like I honestly don't care to see him wrestle anymore. But he's drawing money, so I'm not going to sit here saying, well, because I don't care to see him, he shouldn't be on the show. If you're drawing money, whatever. Obviously, it works. Go out there and do what you do, man. Goldberg has made a very handsome living off of not doing a whole lot. So, kudos to him.
I don't know why people hate him so much. I'm full of jealousy, really.
Yeah, right. Hey, and you know what? He does more than the Kardashians, and they make money hand over fist. So there you go. Anyway, getting back to this monstrosity. In the
we're about to
WCW,
get something fun here in a minute, but okay.
We are, yeah. In the WCW.com area, Mark Madden asks Chris Jericho if he's going to make Saturn look even more ridiculous than he already does. Jericho said that's impossible, and tonight he's going to destroy him. Jericho seems completely unfazed by the thought of his dog collar match with Saturn coming up. But now, this. It's Kevin Nash with Lex Luger and Miss Elizabeth in his corner versus Rey Mysterio Jr. This one went just shy of 6.5 minutes. By the way, I had to mentally put myself into this. I'm like, oh man, the Wolfpack are bad guys here. Like I had to mentally get myself into that because I'm like, that doesn't usually that wasn't a thing for a long time. This one was actually pretty good, I thought. After Lex Luger trips Ray, Nash hits Ray with the jackknife powerbomb for the win. Uncle Dave only gave it a 1.5 stars. I gave it 2.5. I thought these two worked together fairly well. What say you?
I gave it 2. It's probably the funnest match of the night.
Yeah. Nash. I mean, Nash gave Ray some stuff. I mean, yeah, he beat him, but he had to have help to beat him. So in the long run, I think this made Ray look pretty good with his new gimmick.
Well, Ray beat him a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, they were showing that Ray got one over on him on Nitro, and now he's losing I guess this is the rubber match that he lost. But yeah, I mean, sure, Ray lost his mask, and I wasn't into maskless Ray at all. But at the same time, I feel like he's in a top program with a top guy, and he beat him once, and the other guy had to have help beating him the second time. So there you go. We now go to a promo with Raven saying that he got punishment handed down to him from his parents, and because of this, he's going to punish Hardcore Hack and Bam Bam Bigelow. Sandman then cuts the most coherent promo of his life, and so basically he's mostly sober here.
Imagine that the boss is not letting him drink on the job.
Yeah, and
so that's a new concept.
Yeah, and he actually somewhat makes sense when he talks. How about that? He tells Raven and Bigelow that they're nowhere near as hardcore as him. Bam Bam Bigelow then tells everyone that he's going to get hardcore and uncensored. By the way, I said Sandman. It's Hack, Hardcore Hack.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's just so everybody knows he was going by the name Hack. I never got.
I think that was like a metaphor, by the way, for him. But
yeah, wow. If you ever hear anybody talking about him, like they either call him Sandman. It's like some people actually do call him Hack, like in like shoot promos and stuff. So it's like I don't think that's his name. It's like I'm wondering. It's like what the hell started that? I don't know.
I'm just going to go back to my previous statement, but let's move on.
What the hell? Yeah. So either way, yeah, his name is James Fullington. Yeah, so I have no idea what the hell Hack is.
So it's a white guy named Jim. Got it.
That drinks and smokes all the time and has barbed wire tattoos.
Man, can you imagine the awesome El Camino he probably owns?
Wow. He's like, I get this baby purring like a kitten, then I come down the street just blaring foghorn at the top, like all the way up to 11.
Throw on some Skinner too, man.
Right. Sorry, I said I'm not white enough. I said foghorn, fog hat, whatever the F.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but whatever.
Can't remember what they do. Like one super white song. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. Getting back to this, it is Jerry Flynn. What is it? Lightning Foot or whatever the hell.
Lightning Foot Jerry Flynn. Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
And I'm pretty sure he was a legit badass too. So.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not here, but at some point in his life he was.
Yeah, right. By the way, Foghat did Slow Ride. That's the song I was trying to think of. Anyway, just trying to show off my whiteness.
I'm so glad you had to revisit that.
I'm trying to show off my whiteness.
Lest we lose listeners if you don't make sure he corrects yourself.
I don't know, man.
That.
Well, actually, what happened, Foghat saying Slow Ride. And anyway, but it's Jerry Flynn.
I want to know who the hell is fact-checking that on a wrestling podcast.
They're going to get you for anything. You never know.
All right, I'm done.
But it's Jerry Flynn versus Ernest the Cat Miller and Sonny Ono in 7 minutes 8 seconds in a handicap match.
You even talk about this. I was pissed because they cut that sweet mullet he had. Okay, when you did that,
yeah.
They died to me.
Yeah, that's what ruined this match.
Well, it took away from it.
Yeah, oh yeah, sure, right. Jerry Flynn with that mullet. He looked like he was about to down some Mountain Dew and come across this table at you like a spider monkey.
Wow. But real quick, for anyone listening, go look at a picture of Jerry Flynn with the mullet, and I dare you tell me that thing is not freaking sweet, dude, and epic.
Oh hell yeah, man! I'm a scissor kick you in the back of the head, Chip.
Dude, he had like Jerry curl going on back there too. Hella party in the back.
Oh, yeah, man, that's sweet, man. When you get it permed, hell yeah. He walks into the salon, and they're like,
Yep.
anyway. Now that thing needs some fog hat behind it.
Oh, I ain't doing no slow ride, taking anything easy with that, man. That's just go hard, fast all day.
Yeah, well, maybe that's some Iron Maiden style hair right there. But in the
It's
end,
the number
Flynn,
of the beast. Yes.
Good Lord. In the end, Flynn threw Cat shoulder first into Sonny Ono on the apron. For some reason, this makes Sonny flop over the top rope into the ring. Flynn covers Ono, and the ref counts 3.
Because that made sense.
Yep. The ref counts 3 just as the Cat's trying to save him. This was lame. Uncle Dave gave it a half a star. I gave it an even star. Say you.
If I remember correctly, this is my worst match of 1999. So,
Wow.
do I gotta give you the star rating? Or? Yeah, this match was horrible.
It's a crowded field, man.
It was pretty bad, though, dude.
I wasn't a huge fan of Ernest Miller, but he could occasionally get away with a 2-star match.
He'll never even remember it as a wrestler to me. It was his mouth that got him to be the guy. I was the commissioner 100 times at WCW and all that. But I mean, that's seriously where he shined was verbally.
Yeah,
1 star by the way. But
Jerry
I always
Flynn,
thought he could talk. Though.
Well, Jerry Flynn didn't shine with anything in wrestling.
Well, not anymore. After they took away, his shining light. Yeah.
Eric
Do you
Bischoff,
not listen to me?
Wow. Eric Bischoff basically flat out admitted the only reason he kept him around is because he has a hard-on for martial artists.
Wow. And they threw him on pay-per-view.
Yeah, like they act like he's something. I think he was around till they closed the damn doors.
At least close too.
But anyway, we now got a promo.
Dude, also, I got to point out, his theme song, I believe, was an old Boston song they remixed. And
yeah, I got to go back and listen to it.
And I know this. I know this because it's on Grand Theft Auto 5 and I hear it a lot. But that's Jerry Flynn's theme. So it's the Boston song that's on Grand Theft Auto 5.
I recognize the song. I was like, it sounds familiar, but I couldn't quite place it. So anyway, up next, we get a promo with Chris Benoit and Dean Malenko. They say that Curt Hennig and Barry Windham are cowards, but they outsmarted the Horsemen. Now, it's all about respect. We then go to Curt Hennig and Barry Windham. Hennig says that the only belts that will touch their skin are the tag title belts. There you go. This does not lead. They kept playing these I get like playing up beforehand, but they would play these promos for these matches that happen like way later in the show. I'm like, is this match coming up? Oh, nope.
Well, now that makes sense on TV.
Yeah. This one, it's like, what?
He still does that to this day. Matter of fact, to not to get too far ahead, because I was watching a show for our next pod, they make it seem like The Rock and Hogan's going to happen like the third match because Rock cuts a promo, his music hits, and it's not going on now. So,
right.
Yeah. Like, this is an old thing, so.
Right before we dive into this match, just to rewind, it's Peace of Mind by Boston for any of you out there, is Jerry Flynn's song. That's
awesome song. I got to point that out.
Yeah, I love Boston. I saw him in concert because I'm old and white, apparently. Anyway.
Is that the theme of this pod?
I guess so. Speaking of super white, up next, it's Bam Bam Bigelow versus Hack versus Raven with Chastity, who's apparently his kayfabe sister. This is a hardcore triangle match that went for 14 and a half minutes.
First thing I think about, by the way, seeing this is the infamous crucifixion thing they did, which I completely forgot about.
The what?
Remember the crucifixion thing in ECW?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, wow, now they're both here.
Right?
I didn't think about that until after.
Wasn't Chastity, didn't you say she was fired from WCW when they found out she did some adult films?
That's what I heard Eric Bischoff say, yeah.
Ah, yeah, that's right. Good Lord. Well, anyway, Chastity ends up going backstage again and brings out a giant laundry cart full of weapons. Hack gets busted open halfway through this one. Stop me if you heard that one before. We get a good look at the fact that WCW's tough ass tables were pure wood instead of particle board. That's why when Bam Bam powerbombs Hack onto it off the bottom rope, it doesn't break. He then dives onto Hack, and the table finally breaks. That's not the end of this one, though. Chastity tries to
there's more.
Right. Chastity tries to protect Raven from a Singapore cane shot, but Raven shoves her aside and takes it in the head. Later, Raven handcuffs Hack, but the handcuffs break. Raven still repeatedly
break
blasts
quickly, by the way, but not a table.
Right, yeah. We got to skimp on something.
Okay.
Bam Bam then hits Raven with a greetings from Asbury Park. When he sets Raven onto a table and goes up top, Chastity blasts him with a fire extinguisher. He falls back through the table. Chastity randomly then hoses Raven with the extinguisher and headbutts him in the crotch. Hack then pins Raven for the win. This was entertaining enough with a random-ass twist. Uncle Dave gave it 3 stars. I gave it 2.5. What say you?
I barely gave it 2. It was kind of entertaining.
Fun. Yeah. For what it was fun, but just like, what? Some of the stuff was like, what the hell? But after the match,
all these guys, or 2 of them, will be back in ECW very soon.
Yeah, right. Just in time for
Bigelow
shutdown.
Is on the last episode of Nitro, by the way.
Yeah, and doesn't make the jump to WWF. Apparently they had, I don't know if they didn't have interest in him. I don't know. But either way, after the match, Chastity leaves with Hack. Do you know if that went anywhere?
Nope.
I know, I don't remember the order of things, but I remember, Raven talking about his troubled upbringing and whatever, when they finally have footage of the fact that, like, he was actually raised in a mansion and he grew up, like, really rich, and he just resented his parents for whatever, because he was emo.
I don't remember where Chastity fit in on that either.
Yeah. I don't know. It was weird. Anyway, up next is Curt Hennig and Barry Windham defending the WCW World Tag Team titles against Chris Benoit and Dean Malenko in a Lumberjack match. This one went about 16 minutes. All the Lumberjacks have...
This one right here, by the way, is the match of the night.
That's pretty damn good. All the Lumberjacks have leather straps to whip the competitors with. After the match was already started, Arn Anderson comes to the ring, and the crowd blows. Still over, damn it. He tells Chris Adams he'll take his spot, and Adams smiles and leaves. The tag champions try to leave and get beat up and thrown back in the ring. Hennig keeps jumping out of the ring only to get further beat. I'm like, why do you keep diving out when you know it's going to happen, dude?
I was thinking he liked it.
Yeah, it's like...
Some people get down like that.
It's like, I'm a bad boy and I deserve this punishment.
Oh my God. Wow.
In the end, Hennig ends up getting a strap and punches Malenko with it. He then punches Anderson, leading Anderson to get in the ring and clock him from behind with a tire iron. That escalated. Benoit finally hits a swan dive headbutt on Hennig and gets the pinfall win. Uncle Dave gave it 2 3/4 stars. I gave it an even 3. The hell shaved off a 1/4 star. What say you?
I'm going to say that 1/4 star was because Hennig kept jumping outside on purpose.
It may be. I don't know.
I thought, like I said, best match tonight, though, 3 stars.
Yeah. This was really good. I mean, all 4 of these guys are really good, but I don't know. I didn't really go in expecting much, and it exceeded my expectations. So, good for them. Up next, though, we have Chris Jericho with Ralphus.
Oh, man.
It's Jericho with Ralphus versus Perry Saturn in a dog collar match. Went just shy of 12 minutes. Saturn went full-on freak at this point. He's in a black leather skirt, corset, and dog collar. He's also got black lipstick on and is wearing neon green contacts. Just picture that. Put it in your mind for a little bit. Think about it. Let it marinate.
No, thanks.
Jericho then tells Ralphus, he's like, you want a dog collar match? You got it. And then he hands the dog collar to Ralphus. And he's like, put it on. And Ralphus says, no. Jericho slaps him and tells him to leave. Oh, man.
He literally leaves.
Jericho ends up taking the collar off of Saturn at one point and wrapping the chain around his own body. He ends up missing a top rope splash, and nobody home. Saturn hits the DVD for the second time and wins. This one seemed pretty dangerous. I didn't think it was bad, especially working around the chain. Uncle Dave only gave it a half a star. I gave it 3. I actually really liked it. Say you.
You gave this 3 stars.
Maybe 2.5.
I gave it 1. This was brutal.
I kind of dug it. I don't know. Apparently, I'm alone in that because Uncle Dave hated it. You hated it. I don't know. I like Saturn. I like Jericho. I thought the dog collar was kind of cool, but I don't know. Back in the WCW.com spot, Mark Madden and some other dude are interviewing Mikey Whipwreck. Mikey says he's happy to be in WCW. Yeah, because he's getting his checks cashed for once. And he admits to watching a lot of tape on Billy Kidman before their match. You can't really hear much of what they're saying. The audio kind of sucks. But not that I was, oh man, what the hell are Mikey Whipwreck and Mark Madden talking about?
Right. I'll pass.
Yeah. Like, hey, Mark, is that your head or did your neck throw up?
Wow.
What?
Nothing.
Drag that one out. So up next is Scott Steiner defending the WCW World Television title against a Booker T. Steiner's got Buff Bagwell in his corner. This one went 13.5 minutes. This one hit my pet peeve of the champion entering first.
No, like Ventura said, they have the right to do that.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course. Yeah. But the first 5 minutes of this match was just Steiner talking trash to Booker T and various fans. At one point, Buff Bagwell pulls Booker T off of a cover and beats him up outside. How's that not a disqualification? I don't remember hearing that this was no DQ.
Because it's uncensored and nothing matters.
Yeah, that's it. Now, you figure they would at least announce what the hell the stipulation of the match is before the match, but I guess that's too much damn work for WCW.
You should just know.
Well, and, keep in mind that criticism for the main event here, but either way, Steiner then uses a chair on Booker. In the end, Steiner holds Booker T. Bagwell swings the chair. Booker ducks, and no, Steiner eats it.
I was so shocked.
I know, that never happens. Booker then pins Scott Steiner for the win. Uncle Dave gave it dose stars. I gave it 2.5. What say you?
2. It was all right.
It was pretty good. I mean, it wasn't amazing, but they face off quite a bit. And that also begs the question, who thought these two had such great chemistry? They just kept throwing them in the ring together.
Steiner's and Harlem go way back.
Yeah, but I get from that point, but I never saw a match between these two. It was like, man, that was good. I don't know.
Especially this Scott Steiner.
Yeah. Anybody goes back, what was the one we just reviewed this past year? They had the caged heat with a freaking go back in the archives. They had like a straight jacket freaking match. That was something. Like I said, they kept shoving these two in the ring together, and I was just like, why? It was Mayhem 2000. Yeah, if anybody wants to go back and relive that.
When you shattered Booker T's sternum, right?
Yeah, I think so. That was something. And freaking Scott Steiner just like hulks out and rips the damn thing off. I'm like, what the hell is the point of this? Anyway, we're going to take our second to last break. When we come back, it's main event time. Right after this. Follow the Main Event Marks at Facebook.com/Main Event Marks Pod, on Twitter at Main Event _Marks, and on Instagram at Main Event _Marks and at Main Event Collector.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. My name is Thomas, and what's your name?
I'm Alan. Yeah. We're brothers.
That's right.
Yeah. Same mother and father.
Your room was...
We shared a room.
Shared a room.
We shared a room.
Thought I knew your face.
Yeah, we go way back, mate. Yeah.
We should do a podcast then.
We have.
We do a podcast.
We do a podcast.
What's it called?
The Broadcast. Yeah, that was planned.
Yeah. Well,
What do we do?
Well, we cover all different things in the world of pop culture. We're talking about comic books, we're talking about professional wrestling, and we're talking about movies. Go back and watch classic retro wrestling events, the likes of WWE, WCW, and if you do like that, you can check us out on Apple iTunes, also on Podbean, Anchor, and on Podknife. Also check us out on Twitter at The Broadcast. That's BROKAST. Nearly stuffed up the ending.
No, it's all right. Good on you.
Yeah. Instagram also at The Broadcast Podcast.
Remember, we don't spell it with a C. We spell it with a K.
Sorry, mate.
Take it easy.
Main event marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube. Find all of our links on our link tree at linktr.ee/main event marks. And we're back. Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all been waiting for. This. Before the match.
When you say you all, who are you talking about?
You know, the people. Anyway.
Crazy people? Waiting for this?
Before the match, Ric Flair grabs the mic to clarify how things are going to go tonight. He tells referee Charles Robinson to, quote, use his discretion, but don't end the match if there's little... Yeah. But he says, don't end the match if there's a little scratch or a nosebleed. And Tony Schiavone keeps playing up that Charles Robinson's hero growing up was Ric Flair. Keep that in mind. They were beating that home. But this match, it is Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Yep. It is Hollywood Hulk Hogan defending the WCW World's Heavyweight title against Ric Flair in a barbed wire steel cage first blood match. And if Flair wins, he becomes the president of WCW for life. But if he loses, he retires.
Okay.
Right? Like, God dang. Any more stipulations you want to add to this crap? And it went under 14
I think every stipulation ever is in there.
Yeah. It's so weird to see Hulk Hogan coming out to the Wolfpack theme. I'm assuming this was dubbed, right? Was he coming out to Voodoo Child at this point?
No, yeah, to the Wolfpack theme.
Oh, okay. So effing weird. Like, I don't know. Just seeing him come out to that.
The finger poke of doom, and then they all combine. They all start using the theme.
Yeah, it just, I don't know. It's just like, it looked weird to me. Like, it just didn't fit.
I ordered that figure, by the way.
The figure does look awesome. I like the red spray paint of NWO on the title. That was different.
I got one of those already with Nash.
And I said, I'll admit, I love this look for Hogan. And at the time, he stopped wearing the black gloves, and he's wearing white gloves now. That was pretty cool. And everything was like half and half colored. And he started wearing the tie-dye tights instead of the ones with the designs down the side. I thought that was pretty cool. Hogan is actually playing more of the babyface in this one. Flair starts bleeding, but still the match goes on. Hogan ends up pulling the barbed wire down at one point and raking Flair's head with it, making him don the crimson mask. Yet the match continues. Hogan eventually hits the big boot into a leg drop and pins Flair, but Charles Robinson says it's first blood, so no pinfalls. Hogan then goes off on him, shouting, "Look at his head!" Flair finally pulls out some brass knuckles, punches Hogan, and then throws him face first into the cage. Hogan's pouring blood now. David Flair now walks out in a Wolfpack t-shirt with Torrie Wilson on his arm.
Rick live.
Oh, you ain't kidding. Rick shouts at David and spits at him through the cage. Later, Arn Anderson rushes the ring and takes out David Flair. Torrie jumps on Arn's back and he flings her off. That looked kind of brutal, actually. Before throwing a tire iron to Ric Flair. Flair blasts Hogan with the tire iron, locks in the figure four, and now Robinson counts the pin and gives Flair the win.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
He won via pin in a first blood match, despite gushing buckets of blood.
After he just told Hogan earlier, "Oh, you can't win by pinfall." Like, Uncle Dave gave this, amazingly enough, 2 3/4 stars. So he almost gave this damn thing 3 stars. Well, if the stipulation would have been used better, maybe like what? I give it a 1.5 stars. This
that's
sucked.
your barometer?
I guess. I don't know. I don't know what his excuse was for this. Like, what? I gave it a 1.5 stars. It sucked. What say you?
I gave it 1. I can't believe this happened.
None of this made sense. And I'm sure this is leading. Doesn't this lead to the Little Nate stuff?
Mm-hmm. And Flair being president.
Yeah.
Hogan turning face, hurting his knee, losing the title, and then being gone for quite a few months, and coming back with the red and yellow, getting all that later.
Yeah. I mean, the double turn is fine. I had no problem with that. But just, if you're going to have if you're going to have 5 stipulations, stick to them.
Or his idea, stick to one of them.
Yeah, I know. It's just like, good Lord. This was, as Conrad likes, isn't it? Conrad says this is horseshit booked on acid.
Yep. It's my favorite one, but I don't like to use it unless it deserves it.
Yeah, well, this is it. This more than qualifies. Mother of God. After the match, Arn leaves with Rick. David Flair gets into the ring and helps Hogan to his feet. Why the hell would the Wolfpack want to recruit David Flair?
Just to get at Rick, I guess.
Yeah, that's the only thing I could think of, because, like, yikes. I mean, it's, we just talked earlier about, how awesome they're doing with Stevie Ray and Vincent, but still. Either way, that's the end of this one. We're going to take our final break. When we come back, it's final ratings time, and we're going to tell you what's to come next week on the podcast, right after this. Follow the Main Event Marks at Facebook.com/Main Event Marks Pod, on Twitter at Main Event _Marks, and on Instagram at Main Event _Marks and at Main Event Collector.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ryan McCarthy, and I'm the host of the No Credentials Required podcast. Start your work week with the Monday Drop-In, where I talk about the sports beat in the Capital District, also known as the Mighty 518, as well as Metro New York sports from an upstate point of view. I also give a life lesson from a weekly sports story, so you might learn something from that. I also have a midweek podcast where I interview different sports personalities and talk about a wide array of topics. Take a listen and subscribe on your preferred podcast app, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. Also check out our social media channels on Twitter and Instagram, BellyUpNCR, and Facebook.com/BellyUpSportsNCR. We're a part of the Belly Up Sports Podcast Network in association with Godzilla Media. No credentials required, where you don't need a press pass to talk sports.
The Main Event Marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube. Find all of our links on our link tree at linktr.ee/Main Event Marks. And we are back.
We're back. And we're sorry.
Final ratings time. Yeah, thank you if you're still listening. Hey, like I said before, we watch it so you don't have to. Okay, you can just get the review from us and be like, well, thank God I didn't waste time watching that.
Just listen to us. That's all that matters.
Exactly. Internet Movie Database gave this 5.9 out of 10. CageMatch.net gave it 4.77 out of 10. I give it 7 out of 10 for like a C-. Say you.
Solid D+.
Yeah, I mean, the opener was okay. Nash and Mysterio was good. The 3-way was fine. Tag match was good. I personally liked the dog collar match. Everything else was bleh. And that main event was just like...
everything else was bleh.
Yeah. That main event, man, just wow.
That's not a good wow, folks.
No. They just had to crap on everything, didn't they?
That's what they do.
You just ruin everything. Damn it.
You ruined Christmas.
That does it for Uncensored 1999. Uncensored. But
that's accurate.
We got something much better, much better coming up for you for the rest of the month here on the podcast.
This is like you're going from like a what's so really gross, like just a big plate of like Brussels sprouts to a huge filet mignon, literally.
Yeah, let's say this is like going from, you're eating at Waffle House to Morton's Steakhouse.
Waffle House isn't that bad.
I like Waffle House, but
so we need to go worse.
Yeah, but I'm talking like the quality of the food. I mean, it's like disgusting, but it's good. You know what I mean?
That's how I describe you.
Wow. I don't want to know. Anyway, coming up next week, March 16th, it is the 20-year anniversary. Plus, I just wanted to cover this one because I like it. We are covering WWE WrestleMania X8. Looking forward to that one very much. Love the show. I haven't watched it back yet, but I'm excited to.
I forgot how amazing it was in watching it back.
Yeah. I know I've seen it before, but it's been years since I watched it, so it'll be a nice, rewatch for me here. Austin is gone shortly after this, isn't he? The whole Brock Lesnar thing?
2 months after? 3 months?
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, next, the WrestleMania after this one looks way different landscape-wise. I mean, you still got some of the usual suspects in the main event, but still, that about does it for this. Thank you for joining me today, Greg.
Yeah, thanks for doing this to me.
Right? And again, if you're listening on the Tube of You, then you're already here. Click that subscribe button down below and tick the little bell to be notified whenever we post new content. New content! And if you're not on YouTube, head to our link tree at linktr.ee/main event marks. There you'll see our social media, our YouTube, everywhere you can listen to the podcast, our Rumble, all of Greg's personal links where he posts his own content, and all of that. So we will see you all next week with WrestleMania X8.